Okie dokie. Right off the bat, this isn't something I wanted to do. This is not a video I wanted to make. But I'm just tired. This is not going to be the start of a war or a back and forward. I literally just want it to stop. I just want this to be the end. I want this to be a final statement as to why I don't want to deal with this anymore. Because, in a little shell nut, I'm tired. I'm so tired. This has been going on for so long. Literally, over a year. This has been going on for over a year. Dealing with the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm tired. I want it to be done. Please. I want this to be the end of it. This is not me trying to throw a punch and run. This is me saying, hey, this is my final statement. I am done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm exhausted. Leave me alone. That's basically what this entire video is, just summed up. But, as to not go too off track, I wrote some bullet points, or I had some help writing some bullet points just because I could not formalize my thoughts very well, because just everything was all over the place in my head because fucking stress, anxiety, just frustration. I wanted this to be as concise and helpful, as possible. Okay, so I didn't want to make this video, and obviously it is my decision at the end of the day whether I make a video or not, but something pushed my hand, and I will get into that shortly. Let me just go through things in the best possible way that I can get through things. Okay, so Sarah, or Sarah Loves Voices, as some people might know, had my experiences with her. Lots of other people that I know or am acquaintances with have had experiences with her before I've known her, during the time I've known her, after the time I've known her. We've all had experiences with Sarah, and they've all ended up exactly the same. But Sarah eventually came back onto Twitter, which is fine. But I, along with a lot of other people that have dealt with Sarah before, didn't want to deal with anything that she may have to give. So it's a case of, okay, fine, you do you, stick to the people you want to stick to. We don't really want a part in anything that you have to do. We don't want to interact with you because every time we do, it always ends in the same way. And that is exhausting and extremely taxing on mental health. And we have so many other things to do, man. We have life to live. We have work to do. We don't want any more of our lives to be consumed by dealing with yet another situation that happens because of connecting with Sarah again. So, as I was saying, I, like a lot of other people, a lot of other VAs, blocked her right off the bat. We didn't send her any messages, we didn't say anything hateful, we didn't make any statements or anything, we didn't subtweet, anything like that. We literally just blocked her and wanted to get on with our days. Until someone noticed the fact that one of my followers that happened to be following her noticed the fact that, hey, my name came up in one of the tweets that Sarah posted. It was a screenshot of everyone that had blocked her. Where's my phone? She screenshots her followers and sees the people that are blocking her. Let's see. The caption is, try to be friends with everyone and clearly they don't let the past go. Oh well, right? Framing herself once again as an innocent victim to people unreasonably being irrationally cruel towards her, which is the norm from the time that I've known her and other people have known her before me, and then after the time that I stopped really talking to her or checking up on her. So, once again, immediately proving that nothing has changed. Naming and shaming and trying to seem like a victim to people that have crossed her in some way, shape, or form, which is extremely petty and childish. And I made a very general post, not targeted towards her, but it was actually a conversation I had had with my boyfriend previously, like before Sarah even appeared again. I was talking to my boyfriend about the guilt over blocking people, because, I don't know, I believe that everyone should be able to say what they want, and if I don't like it, I can just ignore it, or I can respond in a decent way. But he actually pointed out the fact that social media should be a space where you are able to manage the environment that you're in. If someone in your environment on social media is toxic for you, is unhealthy for you in any way, shape, or form, you should be able to block them. You don't need them in your life. You don't have anything to say to them. They don't need you in their life. They don't have anything to say to you. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to block them. And you especially shouldn't be shamed for blocking them. People are allowed to block people that they don't want to interact with, and they shouldn't be named and shamed for that. So the screenshotting and, oh, look at me, once again, a poor innocent victim caption just kind of ticked me off a little bit, but it did bring me back to the conversation I'd had with my boyfriend a few days prior. So I made a very small thread. I think it was only like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3, 2, I don't know, tweets on the fact that you should be allowed to block people that are unhealthy for you, that are causing you distress, that are worsening your mental health conditions. You should be allowed to block them without being named and shamed, without being made to look like a bad guy. It is your decision to make. And one of my VA friends replied to that, kind of making light of how, pardon the lack of better way of putting it, shitty Sarah had behaved towards a lot of us in the past. We didn't name names. We didn't bully her. We literally pointed out the not so great things that she'd done in the past and how kind of ironic it was that she was framing herself as a poor innocent victim in this situation that had very recently followed very not great behaviors that have a very repetitive pattern from the time that a lot of us have known her. So we were just kind of making light of kind of how ironic it was, without naming names, without making it obvious who it was, unless, of course, she knew. And she managed to, I don't know, go on a separate account, get a friend to send what we were saying about her to her. But then, again, where is my phone? She tweets out screenshots of the conversation that I'd had with my other VA friend, and she captions it saying, "I won't reveal who's causing me distress," keyword being distress, as that was a very particular term that I'd used in my initial tweets, which she conveniently didn't include in this little thing, this little rant. But I won't reveal who's causing me distress, but here's proof they love talking crap but won't face the music. Solutions are easy to find, people, just don't hide behind a screen and talk crap. I won't reveal them out of respect, but I hope they rethink their actions. Now, if you will just look at the screen right now, you can see that she did an incredible job at making sure that no one knew who the mystery identities of these people were. You know, to avoid people that support her going after these mystery people and hating on them. You know, which was very kind of her and so respectful. Just to make sure you know that I'm not trying to hide or anything behind the screen, as you said. I'm pretty open about who I am, what I think, and what I think about certain situations, and especially certain behaviors from people. Because behaviors, and especially repetitive patterns of certain behaviors, can be incredibly damaging. So that's not really a secret that I have. And I've never hidden behind anything to express that. I've always been very open about who I am. So. But anyway, I have a few things to say about this. I as much as I want to throw away the whole suitcase, I'm going to unpack this. First of all, I won't reveal who's causing distress, but here's proof they love talking crap but won't face the music. I won't reveal it. I believe I've already shown how immaculate the censorship was, as the comments have also pointed out. Second thing being, they love talking crap. I don't really like talking crap, as do, like, none of the people that I am close with. It's just not something we really do. The worst we do is kind of joke about our own sort of, like, situations that we're going through to make light of them, because situations aren't always easy to cope with. And we will crack little jokes here and there about, hey, this awful thing is happening, but isn't this insert thing funny? So we can kind of make lighter of it and make it easier to cope with. That's probably the worst we do. We don't particularly enjoy talking crap about other people because it doesn't sit right on our conscience, and it's not a healthy focus to have. Directing all of your energy, or a lot of your energy, or any of your energy towards talking crap about people, bullying people, harassing people, picking on people, it's exhausting. And I'm already so tired all the time. I have things to do. I have life to live outside of the internet. And I also have work to do on the internet. I have people that I want to remain connected with. There is a lot that I need to do that is not focused on talking crap. That is not focused on bitching about people. It's not focused on gossip, because it's childish and it's petty. And I am already so tired all the time. My friend and I were making light of the fact that Sarah had done something extremely childish and petty, and the irony of it. And we're making light of a situation that reminded us of other situations that were really not very nice to go through, that were caused by Sarah, because there is a pattern with Sarah that all of us have noticed over a very long period of time. And the fact that her introduction to Twitter was basically, we could have predicted it. We could have gambled on it. We could have bet on it and won money. It just kind of proves that nothing has changed. All we wanted to do was be able to block her and move on with our own lives so that we didn't have to interact with her. That is all we wanted. We didn't say anything about her. We didn't do anything about her. We didn't harass her. We didn't send anyone else to harass her. We just wanted to block her and move on with our lives because we knew that we didn't want to interact with her. But she, once again, played a very petty, childish move. And, I wasn't going to really do anything about that. I was going to have a little jokey joke with that friend of mine and move on. But, as I said that I'd do earlier, I would tell you what kind of pushed my hand, because, again, didn't want to make this video. Didn't even really want to make a deal out of it at all. But there is something extremely frustrating about the irony in this whole entire situation, and the fact that I've always been an extremely open person about everything that I believe. I'll talk for so long about everything that I believe, yet she uses this example, question mark, as a reason to justify saying we're bullies that hide behind a screen. Let's see. The tweet that she made after that was, just because someone is a big VA does not give them the right to look down on other people. We are all cut from the same cloth, and someday I hope bullies realize this. Unpacking this too. Just because someone is a big VA does not give them the right to look down on people. A, I don't see myself as a big VA. B, even if I did, I don't see myself as any more... I don't see myself as above or below anyone on Earth. Because, yes, we are all cut from the same cloth. But that does not then give people a right to do anything they want and have zero criticism, zero feedback, zero repercussions. Part of human nature is getting feedback from the other people that exist within your circle. And your circle doesn't just have to be people that you choose to engage with. Your circle can be the people that you impact or interact with at all, in general. It is normal to receive feedback and criticism from people that you interact with in this life. I've received plenty of it, and I'm not saying that as a, oh, woe is me. I'm sure a lot of the people that have given me the criticism and feedback could have said nicer things or phrased it in better ways. But still, it is criticism, it is feedback, and then I can analyze that feedback and criticism to think, where do I stand on this? What do I believe in regards to this? Am I going to alter my behavior slightly because this is actually something I could strive towards? Or am I going to let this be a differing opinion? Because not everyone's going to think the same, not everyone's going to feel the same, not everyone's going to have the same values. So, of course, people can have different values on what's okay and what isn't. But I feel like one big thing that should always be respected is boundaries. I nor my VA friends have done anything to warrant you coming after us again, to warrant you pointing us out and naming and shaming us for not wanting to talk to you. We haven't done anything to warrant basically anything that you've done towards us. And the main thing about this whole video, about the fact that we blocked you in the first place, is just that we want to be left alone. That's all we wanted from the start. But this also mirrors and reflects behaviors that I recognize and other people that have interacted with you, Sarah, recognize, which is, first of all, no respect for boundaries. At all. That is a history that a lot of us, too many of us, have with Sarah, is that there is zero respect for boundaries. Whether people just don't want to be close friends with her, whether people just don't want to be in a relationship with her, or whether people say, hey, please can you not talk about this, it's very triggering for me, and she either makes light of it or kind of gaslights the person, saying, oh, you're making a big deal out of nothing, I didn't even do anything that bad, I wasn't doing anything wrong. And this is a lot, these are a lot of behaviors that I and other people that have interacted with Sarah recognize. So it's a little disheartening to see that she's come back exactly the same, but it is sad to say that I am not surprised, because Sarah, if you are actually listening, if you've gotten this far, you should remember I spent a lot of time actually genuinely trying to help you, trying to pour everything I could into actually helping you, into giving you the best advice that I had, one-on-one, in DMs. I wanted to help you because I could feel the fact that you weren't happy, that you were struggling, that you were dealing with a lot of shit. And I'm not saying that you're still not, but you should be allowed to criticize someone even if they are going through shit. You hear all the time that, trigger warning for gun issues around schools in America. Skip ahead about 10 seconds, I guess, if you're not comfortable with that. You hear it all the time with school shooters, that they've been bullied, or they don't have a good home life, or that they've struggled with this, that, or the other, that it's still not an excuse to shoot up a school. Okay, done talking about the potentially triggering thing. Just because you seem to be genuinely struggling with a lot does not give you an excuse to exhibit the behaviors that you do. And you're also very quick to call out other people on things that they do wrong. but ignore the faults that you have had in yourself. For example, posting an SFW in general chat when you know that kids are in the general chat. Hell, I remember there was an 11-year-old in your server. I didn't know he was 11 until he revealed his age in like a smaller group chat that I was in with him and a few other friends. And I was like, holy shit. And he was always talking about NSFW things, and he spent a lot of time in your server. Now, of course, it is not your responsibility, nor mine, nor anyone else's on the internet to parent other people's kids. But you do have a certain level of responsibility, especially as an adult, to make sure that kids and young teenagers, minors, are safe in environments that you have control over. You also have, I have noticed, quite, for lack of I'm gonna be blunt, you have an extremely noticeable victim complex, because you have been called out in so many lies, faking death threats that people have sent you, that turns out you made them yourself, or you edited them, or you made throwaway accounts. You've been caught out in so many lies regarding what people thought were people harassing you, or bullying you, or sending you death threats. You just want to be a victim so people can give you sympathy. The second someone says anything that isn't positive about you, you twist it to be kind of like, oh no, I am being so badly harassed, I'm being bullied. Everyone, this is the person that is making me sad. Go after them and make sure that you let them know that they are the worst person alive because they've made me sad. And clearly I've not done anything wrong because I'm a sweet, innocent internet girl that just wants to do good in the world. I just want to help VAs because I look up to them. That's all I want to do. I've never wanted anything else in my life. Like, you purposefully go after, drama. You thrive off of it. As soon as something, happens, like a situation cracks off, you are there. Even if it has nothing to do with you, you will appear and you will frame it like you're just there to help. Like it's completely a selfless act that you just want to help and you just want to make the situation better. You want to see what you can do because you have these resources and you have these people that you know. It is just so you can know everything that's going on. And B, you will flip-flop between different sides so quickly that no one can trust you. And that's not just something that I have personally experienced, it's something that other people have experienced too. If you would like me to make a part 2, which for the love of God I don't want to, this is already tiring, I had to gear myself up all day for this. But if you want me to make a part 2 with evidence and screenshots and backup for everything that I'm saying, I will. But you and I both know that it's true. Because I don't have to lie to make a point. I see no, point in it. There's literally no point in lying for me. I don't understand why people do it. Lying gives me anxiety. You will be caught in a lie somewhere along the way. It's so much easier to just tell the truth. Going down in my bullet points, you can tell that I'm already done with this. Going down in my bullet points, I'm going to try and get through these as fast as I can because this has gone on for long enough. Unwanted advances on specifically male VAs. Something that I and other male VAs have noticed is that you will invite them into your service, you'll promote their stuff as much as you can, you'll kind of boost them up, you'll encourage them, but then as soon as they don't want to be close with you, you throw a tantrum, you make them feel like shit, and you are extremely persistent, which also kind of touches on the lack of respect for boundaries. So that's not particularly great. And yeah, if you do look at that little thread that I had with my VA friend, you will find us talking vaguely on the fact that you literally harassed, at the time, a child. As a 23-year-old grown adult. I have only just turned 23, and I know that I was more mature than you currently are when I was 14. And Jesus Christ, I was going through some shit, so that's saying something. going back to you flip-flopping when it suits you, you literally defended someone that you had genuine proof of them being predatory towards someone that they knew was a minor in a very uncomfortable, gross way. Yet you still sided with them because you decided, nah, you don't want to help. You didn't want to help me. You wanted to side with this person that would back you up and give you the validation that you wanted because you knew no one else was backing them up. So you wanted to be there so you could have someone that was somewhat dependent on you. And I feel like that is another thing that you also lean towards, is you want someone to be dependent on you. You look for people that are smaller, you look for people that aren't having such a great time, and you try to get them to open up to you. I remember being like, in a pretty good state of mind around the time that we knew each other, that we talked to each other. And you were constantly trying to get me to open up about things that I wasn't okay with. You constantly tried to get me to open up about trauma and my mental health issues, etc. You want people to be dependent on you. You want people to lean on you. And I understand, not from a personal point of view, but I understand the fact that you may want to feel needed. Because who doesn't want to feel needed? But I promise you, this is not a healthy way of going about it. It's really uncomfortable. It's not something that you can maintain. It's not something that other people feel comfortable with. It's not healthy. Another thing you will do is you will spread rumors, and you, as I've said earlier, have faked death threats to yourself to make yourself once again look like a poor innocent victim. I still remember one time I was on a group call in your server before we fell out, where you said that you were going to go on mute. You didn't. You walked a few paces away from the microphone, and I'm not sure if you are on an actual phone call, which I doubt, or if you were just talking into the phone that wasn't calling anybody. But I still remember you saying, please, I don't want anything bad to happen. I just want everyone to be happy. I'll pay you $2,000. That's all. And then you came back just like, oh, I just realized I'm not on mute. I am so sorry if you heard any of that. Don't worry about it. And just so many behaviors like that. And it's so frustrating because I don't doubt that you genuinely go through hardships. Because A, who doesn't? And B, I don't know anyone that is genuinely happy in themselves and in their lives who goes through life looking for things to be upset about, looking for people to be mad about, looking for things to be frustrated with. I don't know anyone that is actually happy in your life that goes out of their way to find these things. Jesus. Sorry, here's someone yelling outside. Threw me off. But anyway, you'll get on a bandwagon of things with zero evidence. When someone who I won't name because this isn't about her made up a rumor that cryptically, just vaguely, I was inappropriate with minors, it's like, A, what? B, you literally don't have any evidence because it doesn't exist. Because I know it's not true. You knew it wasn't true. And she knew it wasn't true. She admitted that she made it up, and she even apologized to me, and she hated me. She had been sending legit death threats to me last year. And even she apologized and said that it was out of line, and she doesn't know why she did it. She said something like you pressured her to do it, but again, that's hearsay. I'm not one to say that that is true or not, because I don't know that situation. And honestly, I can't be bothered to know that situation. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you knew that there was no evidence on that, yet you were so openly willing to just hop on that and run with it because you didn't like me. And you were willing to frame me for something horrendous, awful, that I clearly stand against, which is just extra. Just because you didn't like me and you wanted other people to hate me. And I've noticed that pattern in a lot of people that you've targeted just because they don't like you. Just because they don't want to be involved with you. You will go out of your way to make anyone that you don't like look as bad as possible and frame yourself as a poor innocent victim constantly. So you have a victim complex and simultaneously a savior complex because you love swooping in to save the day as soon as you notice anyone else is in a vulnerable state. As I said before, there's a pattern in your behavior, Sarah, of constantly doing these things over and over and over again. Hence why I and a lot of other people blocked you. We don't want to deal with that anymore. It's not just me, it's not just that small handful of people on Twitter. There are a lot of accounts of people that have dealt with you, that have all had extremely similar experiences. We can all back each other up on that. We don't owe you attention. We don't owe you a follow. And we don't owe you not blocking you if you have caused us distress in the past repeatedly. We're tired. We're tired of dealing with this childish, petty crap. We're allowed to have our own space. We're allowed to make our own decisions, and they don't all need to cater to you. A very important lesson that I think will do you a lot of good is understanding that criticism is not bullying. Someone not liking you is not bullying. Someone making light of genuinely shitty things that you have done is not bullying. No one has bullied you on Twitter here. None of us. Yes, I don't doubt that you have potentially been bullied in your life because, again, who hasn't? I don't doubt that. But we are not bullying you. I have actually not witnessed anyone bullying you. The closest I've seen to someone bullying you is someone very point blank pointing out the fact that you have very repetitive behaviors of essentially like the boy who cried wolf. I am generally quite an empathetic person, and I have a lot of sympathy for people going through things. And I want to help people, and I care for people, wholeheartedly. I always have since I was a kid. Just ask my mama. But it is very difficult to give the energy to someone who is constantly talking about everything and anything that could possibly be going wrong with them and in their life, when you know that most of it isn't even true. Where am I supposed to apply my energy to help you if it has been proven again and again and again that the things that you say aren't true? You will look at genuine screenshots and evidence of things that people have against you and say that it's fake and then it's been edited. But you lie constantly. We don't have a reason to target you. We don't have a reason to single you out and make you feel bad. We just want to get on with our own lives. The only reason I made this entire video in the first place is because I just want everything to be done. Everything to do with you, and to do with you interacting with me, and you interacting with people that do not want to be interacted with by you. I want it to be done. 'Cause I'm tired. They're tired. I am surprised that you're not tired. Please, for the love of God, leave us alone. That's all we wanted in the first place. That's all we want now. I'm not going to make a second video on this. I know that I said if you want a second video with evidence and proof and blah, blah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I guess if you really, really find a huge reason to say, actually, no, none of that's true, you're lying about all of that, then yes, I will. But Jesus Christ, I don't want to. And I don't think you want that either. I don't think anyone wants that. No one really enjoys this type of thing. I don't. I'd say you don't, but based off of past behaviors, I'd say that you actually get kind of a kick out of it. But most people don't really like this kind of thing, because it's tiring. And the vibes aren't immaculate. I'll be honest with you. Jesus Christ. Just, I'm tired, my friends are tired, my mutuals are tired. I don't know how you're not. Please, leave us alone. Let us exist separately from you. Stop looking for anything and everything that we have done so that you can twist it to your own narrative and make other people come after us. Because I've seen inside your servers before. A friend of mine actually allowed me into his account, who happened to be in your Discord server, to see the things that you were saying, and to see the things that your friends were saying, and to see the things that you were talking about with them. I remember one time where you framed me, and I think one or maybe two other people, for the reason why someone was in a coma because they slammed their head into a wall a bunch of times. I hadn't even talked to this person in forever. And this was the person that was sending me death threats a few months prior. So I don't know how this is my fault. But you basically said, yeah, this person is in a coma now and maybe could die because of Kai and this and this and this person. And everyone's like, oh, well, what horrible people. Oh man, if I got my hands on them, if I talk to them, I do this, I do that. And you knew it wasn't true. You just said it because you didn't like us. That is so messed up. You atted everyone in your server and linked my channel and said, stay away from this guy, he's dangerous, just really ominously. No reason, no evidence to a potential reason that you could have come up with. Just stay away from this guy right here because he's dangerous, just ominously. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. It is exhausting to see these repetitive behaviors from you, and then simultaneously seeing you constantly preaching about how we're all the same really, and we need to be treated equally, and bullies just need to reevaluate their lives. You are the most persistent bully I have ever encountered, and I've encountered a lot. You're incredibly persistent, and you go above and beyond to make up rumors and stories and lies, both about things that have happened to you and about things that other people have done. They're so outlandish that, yeah, I can kind of understand why people believe the things that you say. Because it is so outlandish that who would lie about that kind of thing, you know? But you've been called out and caught in lies repeatedly. So it's just kind of frustrating to see you preach this higher ground whilst being the most persistent bully I've ever known. We're tired. Please leave us alone. I hope I've faced the music enough for your liking.